When an artificial intelligence coding agent creates a file, scans a configuration, or suddenly gets permission denied on Linux, where is that action actually happening? Linux does not have a C drive. It does not organize everything around file extensions. And a surprising amount of the operating system is exposed through parts that look like ordinary files. 6 quizzes as you watch using the YouTube quiz feature below. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the Linux file system through a real coding project. You'll see where code, configuration, logs, devices, and process information belong, and what a coding agent should never modify casually. This is not a directory by directory memorization exercise. The goal is one mental model that helps you troubleshoot projects, understand permissions, find evidence, and give coding agents the right boundaries. Let's start at the top. The entire Linux file system starts at one location, the /. That is the root directory, written as /. On Windows, you might have a C drive, a D drive, and removable drives with separate letters. Linux uses one unified tree. Your internal disk, an external drive, a mounted network share, and even virtual system information can all appear somewhere inside the same tree. Run pwd and Linux tells you where you are in that tree. Run ls and you see the directories immediately below your current location. Think of / as the trunk. Every path branches from it. Before we explore the branches, there are 3 path rules you need to know. An address beginning with / is an absolute path. It starts at the root and tells Linux exactly where to go. A relative path starts from where you are now. A single dot means this directory. 2 dots means the directory above it. The tilde means your home directory. And cd- takes you back to the previous location. Linux paths are normally case sensitive, although a specific file system can be configured differently. A file name beginning with a capital F and the same file name beginning with a lowercase f are normally 2 different names. Dot prefixed names are normally hidden by shells and file managers. The file system does not mark them with a special hidden flag. This is a naming convention and display behavior. That is why a project may contain .env, .git, or .config entries that do not appear in a normal directory listing. This is one of the first places Windows users get caught out. Now let's look at the directory a coding agent will touch most often. /home contains the personal working space for regular users. A typical developer project might be located at /home, /thomas, /projects, /website. This is where you will usually find source code, documents, SSH configuration, shell settings, and application data belonging to a user. Your home directory may also contain .config, .cache, .local, and .ssh. Your home can also hold user-wide agent setup. .claude may contain claude.md, settings and personal skills. Codex uses .codex for configuration and agents.md, with user skills in .agents/skills. These work across that user's projects, not across the entire machine, so inspect them before changing them. One important distinction: a projects.env file usually lives inside the project directory. System-wide configuration usually lives somewhere else. For a coding agent, this is the first practical boundary. Give it the project it needs, not every personal file under /home. 2 nearby names are worth a quick sidebar. /root is the home directory of the root user. Do not confuse it with /, which is the top of the entire file system tree. /boot contains files Linux needs during startup. An application coding agent rarely needs to change either location. /etc contains system-wide configuration. This is where Linux and installed services store instructions about how the machine should behave. You may find network settings, user information, SSH configuration, service settings, and many other system rules here. This is also where the risk level changes. Opening a configuration for inspection is one thing. Editing the wrong one can stop a service, break networking, or create a security problem. For coding agents, /etc is usually outside the project boundary. If an agent asks for broad administrator access just to edit application code, we'll stop and question that request. A useful rule is simple. Project files belong in the project. System configuration belongs in /etc. Do not mix the two casually. /user is where much of the operating system's installed software and shared data lives. /user/bin contains many user commands. /user/lib contains libraries. /user/share contains architecture-independent data such as documentation and support files. /user/local is commonly used for software installed locally by an administrator rather than by the distribution's package manager. Here is the modern detail that often causes confusion. On many current Linux distributions, /bin, /sbin, and /lib are symbolic links, or they are handled through the merged /user layout. So do not say that /bin has simply disappeared. The familiar parts may still work for compatibility, while the underlying organization points into /user. The exact implementation varies by distribution. For a coding agent, the practical takeaway is clear. Project dependencies belong in the project environment whenever possible. System-managed programs and libraries should not be changed as a shortcut. /var contains data that changes while the system is running. Logs often sit under /var/log. Package caches may sit under /var/cache. Databases, queues, and service state may sit under /var/lib. This is one of the most useful areas for troubleshooting. Your application may look broken, but the reason is often sitting inside a log under /var/log. Logs are evidence. They are not automatically instructions. Here is the promised project workflow. The coding agent starts inside /home/thomas/projects/website. PodWD confirms the project path. The agent tries to update deploy.sh and receives permission denied. Do not grant unrestricted administrator access as the first fix. Run ls-l on that exact file. The ownership line shows whether the file belongs to the developer, the project group, or the root user. If an earlier administrator command created a root-owned project file, fix that specific ownership problem. Do not expand the agent's privileges across the machine. We will decode the permission symbols in a moment. /temp is for temporary files. Many applications use it for intermediate data, downloads, sockets, or short-lived work. Do not assume anything in /temp is permanent. Depending on the distribution, temporary data may be cleaned during reboot or by a background service. A coding agent can use temporary space for disposable work, but it should never treat that location as a durable project storage. /opt is commonly used for optional third-party software. /mount is traditionally used as a place to mount file systems manually. /media is often used for automatically mounted, removable devices, such as USB drives. The USB drive does not receive a new drive letter. It appears as another branch inside the existing Linux tree. An agent should treat mounted storage as a separate boundary. A path being reachable does not mean every file on that device belongs to the project. Build faster. Dynamous gives you the 15-module Agentic coding course, weekly live community workshops, and the 4-hour AI Second Brain Bootcamp. Join through the link below and get 10% off. This is where the file system stops being a folder map and becomes a real-time view of the operating system. Linux exposes many devices, processes, and kernel interfaces through file-like paths. Not every entry is a normal file stored on a disk. The operating system gives programs familiar path operations for interacting with very different kinds of state. That is why /dev, /proc, /run, and /sys matter. /dev contains device files. Disks, terminals, cameras, and other hardware may appear here through file-like interfaces. /proc is a virtual file system exposing information about running processes and the kernel. It is generated dynamically, not stored as an ordinary folder of documents. /run contains volatile runtime state created after boot. Process identifiers, sockets, and surface information commonly appear here. /sys exposes a structured view of devices, drivers, and the kernel's device model. These paths are useful for inspection and automation. They can also expose controls with immediate system effects. For a coding agent, use an inspection first rule. Understand the interface and its effect before allowing a write. A diagnostic path is not an invitation to change the kernel or a device. The next major concept is permissions. Run ls-l and Linux shows who owns a file and what different users are allowed to do. The permission symbols are grouped into 3 audiences: the owner, the group, and everyone else. The letter R allows someone to view the contents. The letter W allows someone to change the contents. The letter X allows someone to run a file. For a directory, X has a different practical meaning. It allows someone to enter or traverse that directory. That is why a directory can list names but still block access to the files inside. You will often see common patterns such as 644, 600, and 755. 644 usually means the owner can view and change a file, while others can only view it. 600 restricts access to the owner. 755 usually gives the owner full access while allowing others to view and traverse. These are common patterns, not universal answers. Never use a recursive permission change as a reflex. Fix the specific access problem instead. That is the lesson from the deploy.sh example. The permission error identified one boundary problem. It did not justify administrator access for the entire agent. This file system knowledge gives you a safer way to use coding agents. Start with the project directory. That is where the agent should normally inspect and change files. Project configuration may be useful, but service keys and private SSH files should remain protected. System logs can provide valuable troubleshooting context, but they may contain sensitive information. And system directories should never be treated as a convenient playground. When an agent requests administrator privileges, ask 3 questions. What exact file does it need? Why does it need elevated access? Can the same result be achieved by changing the project setup instead? The best agent workflow is not unlimited access. It is clear boundaries, visible changes, and reversible actions. Pause on the map if you want the directory by directory cheat sheet. The shorter mental model is this: user work, system configuration, installed software, changing data, and real-time system state each have their own branch. Other branches connect devices, mounted storage, and boot files to that same tree. The Linux file system is not a random collection of strange folder names. It is a map. Once you understand that map, permission errors become easier to diagnose and coding agents become much safer to use. What should we cover next? Docker file systems, systemd services, or artificial intelligence command line tools? Drop your topic in the comments. Subscribe for more videos like this.